Okay, let's head on over to frame 320 and frame 321. For frame 320, they want you to provide the missing voice parts in contrary motion when compared to the bass. So if the bass is moving up, then all the other three voices should be moving in the opposite direction, down. If the bass is moving down, then the upper three voices should be moving up. So first, let's make sure we have our right triads to build. So here, for number 1 of frame 320, we're going to need to build an A, C, E. For number 2, an E, G, B. For number 3, an F, A, C. Okay, in the first one, the bass moves up, so the other voices need to move down to the nearest chord tone. So we need to double the root and then provide a third and a fifth. So let's put the root in the soprano. The alto will sing the fifth, and the tenor can sing the third. So that while the bass moves up, the other three voices move in contrary motion to the bass. For the next example, we have E, G, B. So the bass is moving down, so tenors would need to move up. So they're on a C. Oops, let's do that. They're on a C, and now we can move them up to an E, which would take care of the fifth. The altos need to move up from an F up to a G. That takes care of the third. And then our sopranos can move right on up to a B. So we have two roots, we have the third, and we have the fifth. And the bass is moving down, so the upper three voices are moving up. Now, in number 3, we have to build an F-A-C triad. Note the bass is moving up, so the upper three voices need to be moving down. So, the sopranos are on a C, the nearest chord tone down. The sopranos are on an E, so the nearest chord tone down would be a C. The altos are on a G, the nearest chord tone down would be an F. Now my bass is doubled, so that's good. And then what's missing? We have two Fs and a C. We need the tenors to sing an A, and they need to be going down. Contrary motion to the bass. And that's how you would do frame 320. Let's move on to frame 321. Just like frame 320, they want you to move in contrary motion to the bass. So let's take a look at each of the three examples and make sure that we have the correct triad. We need to build DFA for number 1, ACE for number 2, and B flat, D, F for the third one. So contrary motion to the bass. The bass moves down, the three upper voices need to move in the opposite direction, in this case ascending. So we can double the root, and the tenors can go from the B up to the nearest chord tone of DFA, which is D. The altos can move up to the A, stems down for altos, and sopranos can move up to the F. So soprano, alto, and tenor are moving up in contrary motion to the bass, which is moving down. Frame 321, number 2, we need to build an ACE triad. If the bass is moving up, then tenor needs to move down. Well, they don't have far to go because the tenors are going to have to come down and double the root. So the bass and tenor are both going to be singing an A there. Soprano and alto also need to come down to the nearest chord tone. So sopranos can go down from the D to the C, altos can go down from the G to the E. contrary motion to the bass. In the third example, we have to build a B flat D F triad. The bass is moving down, so the upper voices would need to move up. The nearest chord tone from a G for the tenor, up, would be the B flat. Make sure you include your flat sign, and we've doubled the root. The nearest chord tone for the altos from the E would be up to the F, stem down, and for the sopranos, we're going from a C up to a D. If you did this correctly, you should have two roots, 1/3 and 1/5. And those are frames 320 and frame 321. Thanks for watching.